Welcome back, everyone, and you know that we are in a section of our Certified Entry-Level Python Programmer course where we are talking about if logic, and it's time for us to look at if-else statements inside of Python. So yeah, let's take a look at the exercise that we did in the last video. If you remember, we were playing with the if clause or if statement. So enter 1 for this, enter 2 for that. We ask the end user, and then we have our if logic that says if the menu item pressed is equal to 1, then print this. If menu item 2 is pressed, then print that. And then, of course, we say, thank you so much for playing at the end. Now, wait a minute here. What if they hit something that is not 1 or 2? Well, first of all, I want to see that running. So enter 1 for this and 2 for that, or 2 for that. Let me enter 4, for example. What happens? Look at that. Just as we might expect. So let's think about this logically. We entered 4. It does this test, and it does not follow the print instruction because menu isn't equal to the string value of 1. It's not equal to the string value of 2, so this never happens, and then it just does our final print command. You see, this is where the else statement, the else statement in Python can be so valuable. The creation of an if-else logic. So I'm going to go ahead and say else, and then I'm going to print, and it's a string value that we print. You entered something strange. Yeah, we asked for a string 1 or 2 value, and they did something bizarre. Let's go ahead and do a file save, and we will go ahead and run our module. Enter 1 for this or 2 for that. We're going to enter, how about hello, something very strange. And sure enough, you entered something strange. Thank you so much for playing. Notice how the else logic here is going to give us a lot more power when it comes to our if statement. Now, something else that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to a structure like if-else in Python is the fact that you can nest this logic. And let me show you an example of this, kind of using an example from the textbook that the Python Institute makes available that goes along with this course. In fact, I'll show you that in a moment, just so you know what I'm talking about. But I borrowed this kind of an example from them. Here's a great example of if-else nesting. Notice the indenting is critical here so that Python knows and we know which if-else clauses go together. So it all starts with if the day is sunny. Yeah, so let's say it's a sunny day. Then we're going to execute the if-else inside of that stanza. So if table's available, we're going to dine in, else we're going to order to go. That's what's happening if the day is sunny. Now, what if the day is not sunny? Well, it's going to jump down to the else statement, and it's going to see if tickets are available, enjoy a movie, else go shopping. So notice how we can have if-else nesting to add even more sophistication to decisions that our Python programs are going to be making. Now, as I promised, let me just quickly show you what I was talking about there with the Python Institute. If you go to even like Amazon and you search on Python programming, you are going to run into, let's do this. Let's add the word certified. There we go. If I can spell that right. So certified Python programming, and there you go. Here's Python Essentials 2, and somewhere in here will be Python Essentials 1. In fact, now that I know the name of it, I can give some better searching for it. There it is. So a lot of folks will have asked me, is there a workbook that goes along with this? Well, this would be the closest thing to that. Notice this is the official course materials that aligns with the exam that I am teaching you to pass. So yeah, obviously I have this book. It's not the greatest textbook I've ever read. It's not the worst I've ever read. Yeah. So that's what I have to say about that. This is not required for you, by the way. I'm just showing you this because, like I said, it's what gave me the idea for our nesting example, and also some of you might be interested in picking up this text. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and guess what? The if logic in Python is so powerful, we're not done yet. So we'll be discussing more and elaborating more on other if features coming up next.